extra credit with this chapter. One option is to sing and conduct the treble clef line from beginning to end. You'll be singing on solfege syllables. Another option is to play both hands together at the piano. You can refer to a previous tutorial for information on that. And the other option is to sing the treble part on solfege while playing the left hand part at the piano. So again, refer to the other video for the playing components, but for right now we'll focus on the variations that involve singing. So let's tackle the sing the treble part variation on its own. So you're going to be conducting as you do this. So we've got this funky new time signature 6/8, and this is conducted in a 2 pattern, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and as you hear from my syllables, you're breaking each of the 2 beats into 3 component parts. So this is like all of the notes that belong to beat 1, all of the notes that belong to beat 2, and so on. So you may want to check your rhythm. You may want to refer to the Advanced Rhythms chapter in your textbook for a thorough explanation of time signatures like these. But for right now, I'll do a couple of just warm-up drills that you can consider. One is to clap and count the rhythm. So 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and for the first couple of bars. And then proceed through the rest of the piece. You can also do a conduct and ta preparation for your rhythm. So ta, 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 ta. That will also get you going. And so that takes care at least of the rhythm. Now we've also got to deal with the pitch and the new solfege syllables. So we're in a minor key, as you may have already figured out. We've got 2 flats, but along the way we have F sharp. In fact, in both the treble clef and in the bass clef parts, we have quite a few F sharps. And we also end on the note G, both in the melody and as the lower note of the bass clef part. So we're in the key of G minor. Now, that means that since the name of the key is G, G is going to be do, A is going to be re, but B flat, which is the 3rd note of the G minor scale, is going to be may, M-E is how you would spell it out. So you can refer to your textbook for the slightly different solfege syllables in minor keys. So watch out for those. So you're going to be using, for instance, syllables like may and lay and te instead of mi, la, and ti, at least for much of the piece. Now there's a couple of little tricky spots, little exceptions perhaps. One is here we've got an F sharp, so that is actually a T in this key. It's just a half step below the name of the tonic note, below the G. And we also have this C sharp. Now that's a more special chromatic note. This does not belong to any of the standard minor scales that we learn. Instead, it's one of these altered pitches. So this is going to be sung as the syllable fi, as in fi. Now, why is that the case? Well, there's a tendency in solfege to take a regular note, and when you sharp it, you turn its vowel into something that rhymes with e. So fa becomes fi when it's been raised by a half step. Re becomes re, do becomes d. There's all sorts of examples of that. That pattern. So fi for your C sharp. So let me demonstrate the singing of the treble part on its own while conducting. And you can give yourself, in fact, the left hand chord is a perfect way to get yourself oriented in the key. You can also give yourself the starting pitch if you like. And just know in advance, this melody for most voice types is either going to sit pretty high or really pretty low. So pick whichever is more comfortable for you. As I sing, you'll notice that there are a couple of notes that are just kind of ghastly and low. So just do the best you can given your range. So here we go. 1 and 2 and me, re, do, me, fa, sol, la, sol, fa, sol, fa, me, do, ti, do, re, sol. Me, re, do, me, fa, sol, te, le, sol, do, le, sol, fi, sol, me, do, re, sol, me, do. Now, the other option that involves singing for extra credit this chapter is where you do exactly what I just did, but also play the left-hand part at the same time. So as always, I recommend practice the 2 components separately and then put them together, but just one or maybe two measures at a time. So build it up from very small pieces. As with the previous example, you can give yourself the opening chord and the starting note, and just be aware in advance. It's totally fine if you're singing kind of low like I am. The notes that you're singing will actually be lower than the notes that you're playing in most cases, so that's totally fine. So here we go. 1 and 2 and me, re, do, me, fa, sol, la, sol, fa, sol, fa, me, do, ti, do, re, sol, me, do, me, fa, sol, te, la, sol, do, la, sol, fi, sol, me, do, re, sol, me, do. So there you have it. Have fun with Great Gray Owl.